Hi there, I'm Lara, one of the owners and designers here at Rivet Patterns, and today we're going to talk about a different way to attach the shoulder straps to the Sonata Sling Bag and Backpack. You're going to need to complete your straps, all right? If you have not done that, now is the time. If you're making your own fabric straps, I will link to a tutorial for how to do that in the description box below as well. But if you're using webbing, you need two 1.5 inch webbings for the straps. You'll also need two 3 to 4 inch long ones for the strap connectors. You need two 1.5 inch ladder lock sliders. These are gunmetal, they're metal ladder lock. You can also get them in plastic. Here's a 1 inch version that you can get. This is 1.5 inch. I got these on Amazon, really easy to find. And two 1.5 inch swivel clips. This is what we're going to need. All right? Okay, so this is pretty simple. So I'm going to move my long pieces to the side and my swivel clips. And then I'm going to work on just my shorter pieces and my ladder lock slides. Now, I'm going to take one ladder lock slide and one strap connector. I'm going to bring it up through the bottom and down over one of the bars. So I'm matching those raw edges. And it's going to look just like that. Going to do that on both of them. Let me get my clips here. I'll give that a clip. Okay. Going to do the same on the other. Whoopsies. There. Okay. I'm going to match the raw edges, pull it up there, and give it a clip. Then you're going to head to your sewing machine and you're going to stitch along here, just stitching those pieces together. The next step is to work on our shoulder straps themselves. And so let's set the ladder locks to the side. We're going to take one end here. We're going to fold this 3/8 of an inch. And I'm going to finger press it. You can use an iron. And then we're going to fold it another inch. And again, I'm going to finger press it. Okay. I'm going to open it, and I'm going to put the raw edge through, and I'm going to place the flat edge of my swivel clip in the 1 inch fold, and then I'm going to fold it back over, give it a couple clips. You're going to repeat that on the other strap. About 3/8 of an inch, and then another inch. And then let's get this in here. Then refold it. And now I'm going to head to my sewing machine and I'm going to edge stitch. I'm going to head to my sewing machine. I'm going to top stitch across this fold here on both of these. And be sure to back stitch a lot. All right, here we are. Okay. Now what we're going to do, our ladder lock piece here, our slider, and we have this other bar here. We're going to come up through the back side and down through the front. And we're going to pull it through, giving ourselves a few inches. There we go. Just like that. So this is what it'll look like. Do that with the other side. So I'm holding my strap connector out this way. So you can see I'm going to come up from this side and down the other side and give it a pull. There we go. And this is what it will look like. So when you're wearing it, you give it a pull either way, and you adjust. This is a traditional kind of old school backpack. Now, we've got this raw edge here. We want to fold it to the wrong side. So about 3/4 or about 3/8, half an inch, and then another, just like we did before. Okay, here we are. Now we're going to go to our sewing machine and we're going to stitch across here just like we did before on both of these. Okay, here we are. We've got our straps all ready. These are for our adjustable straps. So you've used these kind of bags before in store-bought bags that have this type of adjuster. All right, it looks fantastic. Okay, now you are going to complete this piece. All right, we're going to continue on with our strap. So let's grab our 12-inch zipper. Now we need our strap zipper panels. Here we are. We should have 4 of them. 2 in lining. Whoopsies. 2 in lining and 2 in our outer. Here we go. This is what we've got. All right. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to work with our zipper. One of the important things is the close of our zipper. So the direction that our zipper closes, the closing has to be at the bottom because you're going to open it up to spread the straps to wear as a backpack, right? So you can't do it like this. Otherwise, it'll open from the top and it'll stay closed at the bottom. That's not what we want. So we want the opening at the bottom. And so that's what we're dealing with here. So I'm going to put the opening up at the top just now, just so it's easier for us to see. If we're going to need pins or clips, we are going to undo this a few inches, okay? Then we're just going to take the end of one and we're just going to fold it like this. So kind of like a right angle. And you can see that the zipper tape itself, the fabric actually folds pretty easily, and you're going to give that a little pin. You can clip it as well. You can use Wonder Tape as well. Pins tend to work best for me. So now on the other side, you want to do the same thing, but you want it to end at the same spot. So you're just going to grab it, and you're going to turn it. And you just want to make sure that they're the same, and they are. So I'm going to give that a little pin. Now I'm going to head to my sewing machine, and you could do this by hand as well. Not a big deal. What you want to do is make sure that it goes to the back. That's what I want. You want it to fold to the inside. So I'm going to head to my sewing machine, and you can of course do this by hand. And I'm just going to give a couple stitches here just to keep that in place. All right, let's do it. Okay, here we are. All right, so you want to get about 1/8 of an inch from the edge, the best you can, okay? No big deal if it isn't perfect. So I'm going to turn this back around this way. So this is the way it will. Next, I'm going to take all of my strap zipper panels, and I'm going to turn them wrong side up. I'm going to grab my double-sided tape. Additionally, you can press this up. I like double-sided tape. It just makes my life so much easier. So I'm going to place double-sided tape at the bottom edge of each of these. Okay, and my double-sided tape is 1/4 of an inch, so it just makes it that much easier because I'm going to fold this up 1/4 of an inch. Okay, push that on there. We're going to remove the paper. Okay, and we're going to fold this edge up 1/4 of an inch. Now, this is adjustable. You'll be able to adjust this again if you need to. If something gets a little wonky, it's no big deal. But for now, you're going for exact lengths here, 1/4 of an inch up. Here we are. Perfect. Let's move on to the next step. All right, the next step is we're going to take our zipper, and we're going to go line by line through the tutorial, okay? So it says place one lining right side up, okay? We're going to be placing our zipper on this. We're going to place our zipper right side up, but remember, this is the bottom. So it has to go like this. This is the bottom. So we're going to line this up with the short end and the long ends and give it a couple of flips. Okay, so that's the wrong side of the zipper tape to the right side of the lining. Okay, just like that. Now we're going to take the outer and we're going to sandwich that. Okay, so that's right sides together with the zipper. Your goal here is when you come to the end, you want these to line up as perfectly as possible. And if they don't, you're going to adjust. I'm pretty happy with that. So I'm going to clip that here, just like this. All right. Now I'm going to go to my sewing machine and I'm going to use a 1/4 inch seam allowance. I'm going to use my zipper foot, which gives us about 1/4 of an inch. 1/4 of an inch is the goal. We want 1/4 of an inch. And I'm going to stitch all the way down past the end of this zipper and all the way to the very, very end, making sure to stick really close to that 1/4 inch seam allowance. Down here, you can even go a little like, you can gradually go to a scant 1/4 inch, which is just a tiny, tiny bit, because your strap will be going in here. I'll show you what I mean. We'll be pushing your strap up through that, and we want to make sure we have seam allowance on both sides to fit that through. All right, so 1/4 inch seam allowance, let's do it. So if this gets off at all, like it is stretched a little bit or something in the sewing, you're just going to lift that lining and you're going to line it up with that. You just want them to be the same. Okay, so here we have this. I'm going to zip the zipper back up and I'm going to open this panel and I'm going to clip it together. We're not doing anything with it just yet. So I'm just going to put some clips around it to keep it out of my way because I have to work on the next piece. It's looking beautiful already, though. Normally, on other bags, you'd be top stitching at this point. I don't want to top stitch just yet. Just want to get it out of the way. Okay, it's time to do what we just did on the other side. So we got to have our lining right side up, our zipper right side up, our lining right side up, our zipper right side up, which means your linings are together, and your linings are right side together is what I should have said, and I'm going to clip a couple here. Okay, and then I'm going to place my outer right side down. So it's right sides together with the other outer and with the zipper. And then again, we're going to go to our sewing machine using a 1/4 inch seam allowance. We're going to stitch all the way down. Now, here's something to think about. When you're stitching this together and you're coming to the end of this zipper, obviously you're going to move the zipper pull out of the way, but take your time. You don't want to break any needles. You may need to use your hand wheel, and that's totally okay, but let's get it done. Hey, I forgot to record that step. Sorry. All right, so now I'm going to keep this one open. We're going to move on to the next step. I'm going to grab my Wonder Tape again. You can press this part. You can press and clip or whatever. But I'm telling you, this Wonder Tape is going to be life-changing. It makes it so much easier. So I'm going to place Wonder Tape or double-sided like quilting tape all down this curve, all the way down. Because what are we going to do? Yeah, you guessed it. We're going to fold it up 1/4 inch. Now we want to make sure, let me trim up this. Now we're just going to turn this toward the wrong side 1/4 inch. Your goal is to make sure that everything lines up. So I fold this back on top here. So you got to fold that seam allowance. I want it to line up. And let's see, take this clip off so we can check that. Yeah, it's going to line up perfectly. Okay, so we're going to go all the way down. Remember, 1/4 inch. And you can check it as you go. It's a little bit harder to keep the vinyl down, but clip as you need to, just to make it stick. You want to do what it's told. It's a lot harder on the curves, like it really wants to come back up. I'm going to bring the lining that I just did this to, and I'm going to bring it to meet the fold. So the folds are meeting, and so it gives a finished edge. And you're just going to clip. If they're not meeting up properly, then adjust either the the lining edge or the outer edge. Okay, let's get it close. If you're using cotton base, you can use an iron to really get this down smooth. Okay, here we are. You want everything to line up. Thing looks wonderful. Use as many clips as you need to make sure it all stays folded the way you want it to. This looks really great. So you're going to take your the only raw edge left, and you're going to line it up here. You're going to open this up. You're going to line this up here. Okay, and we're going to clip it in place all the way down. And we're going to do that with the other side. So we're going to open that up. We're going to bring our raw edges here. Just like that. All right, now we're going to head to our sewing machine, and we're going to top stitch all the way around both of these sides. Okay, here we go. We are all complete with our loose adjustable strap, which is what I call it, simply because this front piece is loose, so you can have more sizing flexibility, because you can bring it all the way up like this if you need to. If you're making it for a little person, it works perfectly. Okay. The next thing on our list is the strap tab. So we have 2 of those. We're also going to need our shoulder straps. Okay, so we got these just like that. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take one of our strap tabs, and we're going to place our completed shoulder straps right side together, centered. I like an overhang, a bit of an overhang, quarter of an inch or so, maybe less. And I'm going to clip that. Okay, now I'm going to go baste that together. All right, now let's take our other strap tab, and we're going to put it right sides together. Okay. Now, using a 1/4 inch seam allowance, whoopsies, we're going to stitch all the way up, across, and down. Now I'm going to clip the curves and snip the corners there. So you want to clip about 1/8 of an inch in. Now we're going to turn this right side out. You can give the strap a little tug. That should help. You want to push the corners out and those curved edges. Okay, if you're not using vinyl, you're using something cotton, you can press this down as well. And here's what we got. Okay, now we're going to head to our sewing machine, and we are going to top stitch all the way around here, and then we're going to baste these raw edges together using a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Isn't that pretty? Now we're going to trim off the exposed seam allowance here and here. And then we're going to trim up the exposed SF101. I just want to see my outers here. Okay. Now I'm going to go through this curve right here, and I'm going to snip like 1/8 of an inch right up to the seam allowance there, that basting stitch, about every 1/4 inch.